Hey everyone, thanks for joining the UserGems Rev Tech segment on champion job changes. I'm Isaac, Director of Demand Gen here at UserGems.
I'm Braxton, Director of Enablement here at UserGems.
And I'm Justine, a customer success manager at UserGems.
So with layoffs and job changes in 23 being at an all-time high, tracking champions as they leave and join impacts every team within the overall go-to-market team, whether that's CSMs, marketing, or sales. So we're just going to walk through what this looks like as a flow across the entire team. So let's start with Justine on our CSM team, where the job change impacts hit first. So Justine, what does a champion leaving typically mean for customer success, and what steps do you usually take to save revenue?
Yeah. So as soon as your champion leaves one of your customer accounts, that whole account is now automatically a churn risk. So no one's going to be spearheading that initiative internally. The value of your product might be siloed into a specific team or just one individual person that's no longer at the company. And no one's really there to help you drive adoption internally. So, I mean, without UserGems, what I was doing to find out that one of my customers had left was wait for a bounced email or maybe a couple missed meetings that normally they're really great at showing up to, and then you're kind of thinking that something might be up. So with UserGems, though, here, what we do is we are alerted each month if one of our champions leaves one of our customer accounts, and that triggers a workflow for us. So first, what we do here is we send out an email to potential new stakeholders if we don't have one already. And essentially what we do here is kind of introduce yourself, introduce the initiative, talk through the partnership that you had, talk about the success of your product, because again, it might have been siloed within this one person, and try to find a new stakeholder. So this is really helping you get ahead of that churn rather than being a little bit reactive and trying to scramble to figure out how you're going to save this account after the fact.
That makes a ton of sense, especially considering like someone leaving a customer account. I'm wondering though, like what if it goes the other way? What if someone joins a customer account?
Yeah, so really difficult to keep track of job movements within customer accounts. A lot of CS time is spent putting out fires. So something we do here is we're alerted if a potential new stakeholder joins the account. So really great expansion opportunities come out of here, especially into growing into other organizations and maybe introduce some new products to someone that's joining. And essentially what's happening here is, again, multi-threading deeper into these accounts. So let's say someone does leave eventually or moves on to a new customer, you still aren't stuck scrambling, trying to find a new point of contact. You've now built this troop of people who are advocating for your product internally by being just aware that people are joining your accounts. So that's really what job movement looks like within customer accounts, but really interested, Braxton, in hearing a little bit about how job movement affects the sales team.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. It's kind of a cascading effect. So even in this example, right, Siobhan has left Ring Central, now they're at Slack. The first step is going to be to reach out to Siobhan, right? In this case, you've got the sales development team or the sales team or whomever is responsible for that initial outreach. It makes perfect sense for us to reach out to that person. And that can look a couple of different ways. It could be an automated sequence if it's someone that perhaps we feel as though is at a certain buying level. It could be a personalized first touch. Perhaps Siobhan has left and is now an EVP at Slack. Core concept, though, is that we're able to reach out to that person almost immediately. But it doesn't stop there. I don't think it would be enough to do that, because even though Siobhan is now at Slack, it's incredibly unlikely that Siobhan is responsible for bringing on X tool at Slack entirely alone. So the next step of this is to fill out the buying group at Slack, and who the AE is responsible for breaking into. There might be Siobhan, but there also might be perhaps other people that worked with us before that are at Slack on the buying committee. And that's super useful to know from the perspective of building out the account plan. So what you see as a cascading effect, where not only are we reaching out to the person that left Ring Central, but now we're also able to build out a bona fide account strategy for Slack via the potential warmest path to entry.
I mean, all of this seems great in a world where we're trying to do more with more, but considering current market conditions, how does this help do more with less?
Yeah, I think that actually might be the most exciting part of the conversation. Like, it's an emerging space, right? Like tracking former champions makes perfect sense. Siobhan's very likely to buy again in a new role if he has experience with my product. But in an inflationary environment, to your point, we're not thinking about me. Consider it this way, though. As the rep on the account tracking aspect of this, where I'm thinking about Slack as an entire account, this is my management given patch. I have to win this account, and I'm certainly expected to win it at the enterprise level. If all the contact data about the entire buying committee at the account is readily available, along with contextual relationship information, the odds of winning that account are now significantly boosted. And why is that? Well, because the warmest path to entry now exists. So it's not about creating a scenario where I can catch more fish. It's about me being ascertained of catching the fish that are already in my net, right? It's about increasing efficiency rather than increasing velocity.
What's the impact of something like this on new business strategy?
Well, think about it, because I think it goes like even beyond just the rep. The rep definitely has higher odds of winning the deal now, but it's not just because of the rep. Consider it from the management perspective, or even from the enablement perspective. First of all, due to having the entire account map with all the potential relationships, all the past relationships, all the hierarchical stuff, as a manager, I'm now able to help you craft the perfect plan of whom to include, why to have them, who internally to match them with at which points during the deal. That's great. And I think is a huge blind spot for managers as is. But on the other side, think about the marketing aspect. The marketing team is able to serve that exact buying committee ads before they even know they're going to be involved in a deal, which is now latently increasing their familiarity. If those things happen, you win that deal. I'm getting all excited about it. I might be stepping on Isaac's toes a bit, but I want to transition this over to you, Isaac, from an account-based marketing strategy. I'd be curious to hear what this means for you.
Yeah, it's amazing on the targeting side as well as the sales and marketing relationship. I mean, it's a overused phrase now with everybody talking about sales, marketing, getting along, being best buds, but it's one of the only times I've seen it truly in action. So, for instance, like our ABM program, we run 300 one-to-one campaigns every single month. On the marketing side, it's a tough ask, but it's always doable on the marketing side. What I've never had though is the sales side execution be so easy, I guess you could say. With marketing, usually you launch the paid media campaigns, it goes out to the people, but then you have to expect your BDRs, SDRs to actually do the research on all 300 accounts. In theory, sounds great. In reality, execution's probably not going to actually happen. The odds that they're going to find the exact buying committee for all 300 accounts that you're targeting on paid media are slim to none. So with this, I mean, all those buying committees are surfaced at all of those target accounts. ADRs just have to push those into sequences, fully automated on that side of things. So it's a marketing dream come true.
We talk a lot about ABM as like a branch of helping sales break into various accounts. I'd be curious though, like what does this mean for you from like a paid media perspective?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of marketing teams are shifting over to revenue focus, pipeline focus. Previous years, we've been really focused on leads, generating marketing qualified leads to pass over to sales team. With things tightening up, headcounts getting lower, focusing on revenue to kind of justify marketing is way more prevalent. So what we've actually done is taken a step further beyond the demo request. So yes, we're using these buying committees to actually drive new pipeline, but we're actually using these buying committees at open ops to multi-thread through paid media. So once that opens up at a target account, we're serving persona specific ads to the rest of the buying committee at these companies. So for us, that means serving ads to sales, serving ads to marketing, the CFO, CSMs, everything at the company to pull more people into that deal, let them know people at their company are talking about UserGems.
So we've talked a lot about, I think, some key concepts that are really time relevant, right? This idea of taking things that may be at risk of churn and turning them into expansion, pulling people into deals to recession-proof them effectively via paid media and ABM, ensuring that reps are working the deals that are most likely to close. If these concepts seem relevant to you, we definitely urge you to check out the playbooks that we have for free on our site. But if you're really curious about it and you want to take it a step further, feel free to reach out to us, talk to a rep. We'll run a data test for you to indicate how many of these opportunities you may be actually missing out on, and hopefully make it through this brave new environment together. Thanks for listening.